Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Spurs Live. And today we got a full house. We got Josh, Matt, Jamie. The full shebang is here. How are we doing today, lads? How are we doing, guys?
Not too bad, not too bad. I was better before the past 2 weeks. It's just ruined my mood completely. It's been miserable.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm pretty good, guys. Pleased to be back. Very disappointed on the back of the last defeat. Maybe not surprising, but disappointed still.
Matt, how are you doing?
All good, all good.
How's the dog?
Yeah, all 4 dogs are with me right now.
Brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. Well, lads, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get straight into it. But before we do, you know what we usually ask you guys to do. Do the little things. Subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and comment down below if you agree with us on the answers or if you disagree. Yeah? We need to win versus Villa. Now, Matt, I'll come to you first with this question. We need to win versus Villa. Simple like that. Yes, no. What were your thoughts going to Villa? Do we need to win?
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
That's a stupid question. We need to win everything.
I'm going through the questions, mate. I'm going through the questions.
No, I appreciate that.
We need to win versus Villa.
But we need to win every game.
I think the better question is, do we need to survive versus Villa? Yes, we need to fight for our lives against Villa.
Yeah, well, we've got an international break. Ange has 2 weeks to sort the team out. Yeah, we need a result against Villa. We do need a result against Villa. If we don't get a result against Villa, then I see us sitting 8th or 9th come Christmas. So
we've got a nasty run. We've got a really nasty run. This is the start of what is a hot. We needed that 3 points against Wolves badly because this is the start of what is a nasty run of fixtures for us. And we knew it was coming as well. Like that is a massive 3 points we lost last week.
But no, I mean the simple answer, yes, we do need to win against Villa.
Jamie, we need to win versus Villa. You agree?
Again, totally agree. It's a must-win game. The week after that, we have City away, which, let's be honest, if we pull a draw there, I'd be gobsmacked.
Yeah.
I think we're banging trouble here, boys. I'm not going to lie. I do think we're in trouble. I think the train is starting to derail. I think we've all known this for months and months and months. We were 1 or 2 injuries away from last season. Davis and Dyer at the back. You're not winning anything with those two as a centre-back partnership. I'm sorry. It's as simple as that. A must-win game, although I don't hold out much hope.
Perfect start. All right. Okay, let's get into more of a deeper question now. I'm not going to read out whoever wrote this because I can't read out names. I'm going to butcher this, but whatever. Josh, do you think we will finish in the top 4 of the Premier League? Do you think that? I'm not going to ask, is that a target? I'm going to say, do you think we can finish in that top 4?
Is it realistic? I think there's literally like one spot up for grabs because I think City have definitely got one, Arsenal have definitely got one, and I think Liverpool have probably definitely got one. You know, I know they've had a couple shaky moments, but I think Liverpool are a really strong side. It depends again on injuries, which is like the story of the season for us. Is Maddison fit and is Van der Ven fit? That's the 2 biggest concerns that I have, because if they both come back in December and we're still in top 4 contention, we're still floating around, and they come back, yeah, I think it's realistic that we can do it. But if Maddison has another stint out, or a Romero Van der Ven, one of those key parts of our spine has another period of the season out, I think we're out of it. Because I just think other teams have got too much depth. Villa have got too much depth. You know, Brighton have been riddled by injuries, but they're still performing amicably. And then you've got teams like United are struggling, but they've got injuries. You expect them to turn it around somewhat. Chelsea are starting to pick up a bit of form and starting to look a decent side under Pochettino. So there's a lot of sharks swimming in those waters that could overtake us very quickly. 2 weeks, the table could look completely differently for Spurs.
Very true. Very true. Anyone else want to say something?
No, in all honesty, I completely agree with what Josh is saying there. Like, against Wolves, I thought that Maddison was the biggest loss in our team. I thought Dyer and Davies were okay, although since then I have been watching some analysis which shows that if we'd had Romero and Van der Ven in, they probably wouldn't have got their 2 goals. Because Romero and Van der Ven would have been defending a much better line. They'd have followed the players better. They'd have been putting more pressure on the ball. If Romero had been there instead of Dyer, then the first goal, Romero would have probably been putting some pressure on him, so he wouldn't have been able to control and take the volley. It was a very, very good goal by Wolves, but if a defender had been closer to him, he finds it harder to pull the trigger. The second goal, that was just poor defensively because we just completely lost the player. And again, it was Dyer. Reality is, if we can get to Christmas in and around the top 4, then we can probably push on. But as I said, I can see us slipping down to 8th position.
Depends on money as well, though. Like, I'm sure everyone else has seen the rumours that came from, I think, Ornstein, that we don't have a lot to play with in January, which we've got a lot of filling out to do in this squad, especially in the centre back area. I mean, I know they'll probably try and get someone like Lloyd Kelly on a cheap, but we seriously, especially if someone like Højbjerg leaves, we're in deep trouble throughout the whole team then if someone like Højbjerg leaves, because I think he's been more crucial this season than any of us predicted at the start. I think I would have been happy to let him go in the summer if we'd got a replacement in, but I now think he's become so integral, especially with Basuma missing games here and there. And also Basuma actually not been great the past couple of games. I'm still love Basuma, but he's not been great the past couple of games. And he wasn't against Wolves. I thought that was probably one of his worst games that he's played this season against Wolves. I think we are massively in trouble if we lose someone like him and we don't have the money to replace him and what he brings to the team, because he's such a different player to someone like Basuma in terms of his skill set, especially in those tough moments.
Yeah. No, fair points. Jamie?
Yeah, well, again, jumping back to the January point, I'm not surprised at all that there's no money to spend. Let's be all honest here. Who was expecting a big spend in January? I definitely wasn't. I know I've heard people like Simon Jordan on the radio saying if they're fighting for that sort of top spot, then the money will come. I never believe that, not for a second. We're never going to spend big. We're never going to go after that top spot. We're just not. That's just not in our DNA. We will look to bring in someone like a Lloyd Kelly for 10 million. I don't want it. I'd prefer the 10 million in the bank. It's another Joe Rodon all over again. Just what's the point in buying these players and loaning them out? Let's buy a player that's ready to come into this squad now. We knew that in the summer. We're so thin on the ground again. I think we've been very lucky with Van der Ven. Again, I've seen clips of him and I know his pace and all that sort of thing. But I think we're extremely lucky that he's got in here and landed on his feet and looks like a class defender. Again, we were one injury away from it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We're one injury away from not having a striker. Let's be honest. We're so thin on the ground. It is frightening. And it's so frustrating to watch us churn this year in, year out. We get a bit of excitement. We think, here we go. One injury. Are we going to get backed? Not really. Let's spend 5 million on a lad from Norwich. What's the point? We're trying to do things here. It's so frustrating for me. But again, so unsurprising. We're not spending any money in January. We will not spend any money in January.
Well, in my opinion, I think the top 4 is the difference between us and the top 4. I'm saying other teams in terms of top 4 is the fact that our injuries are literally our best players. They are literally our best players. Van der Ven, in my opinion, our best defender. Romero suspended. Whatever. Let's talk about injuries for a second. Van der Ven out. Madders out. Then we got backups, the likes of Perisic when he used to come on, in that last 20 minutes period. Everyone remembers. I remember Josh and Matt, both of you guys saying how much of a difference he makes when he does come on. There are big changes that matter. Now, I think going into January, we got to make statement signings. I know it won't happen, but that's the fact. We got to do that. But it is what it is. It is what it is, guys. So top 4, I'm hoping for top 4. I'll be honest. I'm hoping for top 4. I'll be happy with top 5, but it's like what Josh said. Everything can change in a matter of time. Anything can change. So let's move on to the next question. James, I'm going to come to you first. I'm going to come with you to this question. Can't even speak very quickly. What are Spurs' chances for the next match? And do you think we will lose any more games? I mean, trying not maybe specifically that question to answer, but a little bit around that question. How many more games, do you think it will take for us to seriously get back to winning ways?
I definitely think we're going to lose games. 100%.
100%.
We are not there yet. We are not there yet. I think Ange has come in, like I said in the last video, he's changed the ethos at the club. There's a great feeling about it. I enjoy watching my Tottenham play again. But we're too thin. We're so thin on the ground. And I think, could we come top 4? Yes, we could. We need the momentum and we need the injuries. Or we need the injuries not to happen. The Van de Ven one was concerning, although I see he may be out for up to 6 weeks, which isn't the end of the world. But for me, it goes back to those stupid Romero challenges. I'm bored of it now. I am getting fed up of this guy. I rate him highly, but the petulance, like, come on. You are an elite sportsman. Get real. There's no need to be making those challenges. Similar to Udogie. At least he's young and he's learning, right? And maybe he got caught up in the fire of the London derby and really wanted it. Romero, it's getting annoying now. You have to be able to rely. And actually, what I'm being able to do is rely on this guy to actually let us down at times. If he was in that squad Sunday, I do believe we could have won that. Everyone's digging out Dyer and Davis, and it's not their fault. What can they do? They've not played a minute of football. They've had to come in and play this Ange ball, which obviously they're not used to and they're struggling with. We all know Dyer can't really play that way. For me, Josh, it's so frustrating when you've got these superstars that just kick out, lunge out. There could have been 4 red cards in that game, really, and they should have been sent off before they were.
Yep.
It's very, very annoying and frustrating for me. Very, very frustrating.
Agree. Anyone else? Anyone else with the question?
In terms of what our chances against Villa, or in terms of
in terms of like what do you think for our upcoming games? You spoke about this earlier. I think Josh, you said for the upcoming games, it's not looking like a nice run for us.
This is survival. This is survival time. Like we need to stay in the picture. We don't need to be talking. We were talking before about how big can we make the gap before this run came up. The run's here now, and now it's our whole spine is gone. Completely gone. Romero gone. Van de Ven gone. Maddison gone. I think Basuma's got his yellow card suspension next game as well. No, against Villa.
Yeah,
like the entire spine except for Son and Vicario gone. So this is not the time to be analysing our performances and looking into how Spurs played in these games and like really diving deep into it. This is classic. Our backs are against the walls. We need to try and scrape as many points as we can over the next 4 or 5 games and just get into that Christmas, New Year's break intact. No more injuries as well, because I've heard rumours that Udogie might not even play despite his suspension being done. He didn't get called up to the Italy squad because Spurs wouldn't let him go. So things are going from bad, not even bad, horrific, to even worse. I think that 20 minutes against Chelsea was possibly the worst 20 minutes that could have happened to Spurs. We had 4 or 5 season-defining moments in about 15, 20 minutes, which is crazy. I know a lot of the teams are dealing with injuries this year, but that is nuts what happened to us.
I can't lie. It's put my anger towards Chelsea even more. Honestly, even for the next couple of seasons, I'm gonna still be like pissed off about that moment because you guys actually got to understand this. And I said this. I think I said this to you, Jamie. I believe, honestly, if all of our players are fit, our starting 11 is perfectly fit. I think, putting this out there, we are the second best team in the Premier League. If all our players are fit, I think, in my opinion, I think we're a better team than Arsenal if all our players are fit. We're not better than City, maybe not Liverpool, but we are definitely better than Arsenal. We're top 3 Premier League teams if all our players are fit. But Matt, this is more of a question I want to ask you now. It's regarding Ange now, the international break. But before we go over to that, Josh, by the way, I was reading a report from I think it was Spurs Global on Instagram. He posted this. He's saying from Italy that Vicario will miss their next match. Now I'm starting to think, what is this? What injury is this? Apparently he has a fever now. So I mean, hopefully nothing from there, goes wrong. But I'm just saying it's
Quite
starting to
frankly,
get
to be
even
fair,
worse.
with Vicario, I think he'd literally have to be in a coffin buried underground to not play for Spurs. Like, I don't think there's
Yeah.
a single thing that you could do to that man to stop him going in between those sticks.
He's a complete diehard Tottenham player. Honestly, he loves it as well. Matt, okay, so do you think Ange will find a solution to our problems over the international break?
Very tough question.
Yeah.
Simply because where the team's been hit with injuries and suspensions, we no longer have the players capable of playing Ange ball. So, the fact is, with the squad being so thin on the ground, as already discussed, then can he find a solution? I don't know if it's possible. I think
I agree.
I think he has the capabilities, but I don't think he has the players at his disposal to play the way he wants to.
Yeah.
So I don't
see Ange ball in the Wolves game.
Yeah.
None of it.
So flat because they can't do it.
Yeah. Finished.
So I think Ange is the perfect manager for Tottenham, but Tottenham haven't given him the tools at his disposal to play the way he wants to.
Yep. No, spot on. And also, do you understand why there was no Ange ball during Wolves though? Because we had no creative midfielder. The only way Ange ball works is if we got a creative midfielder. Now, I'm gonna come with a slight question to all of you guys now. Pape Sarr. Who plays in that creative midfielder now for you for next match? Because I'll tell you what, Josh, I'm gonna tell you this. Pape Sarr, in my opinion, don't ever play him in a creative midfielder role. He's just about getting that little bit of a centre midfielder, having a feeling what it's like, to play in a tough league in a central midfielder player as a central midfield role. I don't think he's a creative midfielder. What do you think? Huh?
Pape Sarr is an engine.
Yeah.
Is he a creative midfielder?
No, but he's adequate at those roles. That's the great thing about him. He's not bad at anything. He's just adequate at a lot of things, and he's got an unbelievable engine on him, which is why he's great for that box-to-box role. That creative role should easily be falling to Lo Celso, but Lo Celso's been stinking it up every time he's came on. He's been woeful every time he's come on. He looks lost. I've never seen a football player looking around and just thinking, what am I doing here? Like against Wolves, he looked like he had no clue where he should be, where his options should be, where he should be going with it, when he should be receiving, when he should be giving. He looked absolutely lost on that football pitch. It was woeful from him.
Yeah, I agree. The reality is, with Maddison out, if Lo Celso wants to be a part of this Tottenham team, he needs to step up and play that role because it's the role he plays for Argentina. It's the role he plays for Argentina, so he should be playing that role for Tottenham. And he hasn't been able to do that. The reality is, this is his time to step up and shine. And unfortunately, he just doesn't seem to have the ability.
Well, I'm gonna come in here and ask Jamie this question because I think Jamie and I had this discussion in the match preview for Wolves. We were discussing. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. We were discussing about that creative midfielder role. Now, I brought up the fact that I don't think Lo Celso is cut out for that attacking midfielder role. I don't think he is. I'm going to retract my words. I don't think he's cut out to play in a Premier League in that creative midfielder role. I had a massive discussion with Tottenham away. I don't know if you guys know on YouTube. Now, we were discussing the fact that he thinks Lo Celso is the perfect replacement for Madders. He thinks Lo Celso should be played every single time that creative midfield role. Now, Jamie, do you think Lo Celso should be played in that attacking role? Because the way I see it, in Real Betis, he played amazing. He played really well. He sometimes played as a striker for them. And international, just like Matt said, he plays as a attacking midfielder. can go even further than attacking midfielder, can even go just behind the striker, kind of like centre forward, But in my opinion, that's only because number one, international football is much slower than Prem, much slower, and La Liga is less physical and less pressure on the ball in terms of the defenders don't go and run at you. In the Premier League, you get the ball 1-2 touches out your feet. Jamie, who do you start in that creative midfield role? Lo Celso or Bentancur, or are you even going to stick with Pape Sarr? I don't know.
No, for me, Lo Celso, evidently Ange isn't even starting him when Madders isn't playing. So that tells me everything I need to know. If he's not confident enough to start him in that role, he's no business being there. Where else is he going to play? That is his role, that sort of cam centre forward role, maybe sort of playing off the striker, that's fine, but we need a creative midfielder. For me, Bentancur slots straight into that role. Again, if his fitness is there, if he's got the legs, because he hasn't played for a little while now. But my concern is that Ange is not picking Gio for these games. This is against Wolves. Let's be honest. This isn't City away. This is Wolves. And the guy's not even getting a game coming on the latter stages of the game. So it's a concern. This guy tears Argentina up and tears La Liga up, but can't even start in Spurs when we don't have our best player playing or our main centre attacking midfielder playing. That's a concern. I'd like to hear more from Ange about what he actually thinks of Lo Celso. There's got to be a player in there. I quite like him, but again, it's just lackluster. He looks lost. I agree with what you were saying. He looks lost. He's not sure what he's meant to be doing. Bentancur all day for me. He's got the engine. He's got the focus. He's got the drive. He's got the through ball. He's got those cute little passes on the turn. I rate the guy highly. I think in Maddison's absence, Bentancur is a direct replacement. In a way, I know he's not a centre attacking midfielder per se, but I definitely think he could do a good job there for sure. Much better than Sarr anyway.
100%. I think the way I see it is that if we're struggling in terms of to fill in the spot, now Josh, this is a question to you. If we're struggling to fill in someone in the spot, let's go to youth. No, let's try go to youth. Now, this is a question that was asked on Instagram once again. Josh, do you think? I'm just putting this out there. Do you think Jamie Donnelly should be in the place of Maddison? Obviously, when he's injured, when Maddison is injured, do you think he should maybe get a couple of run of games?
I mean, I think that's career suicide for Jamie Donnelly, to be honest. He's just scored 2 in international break. He's on fire in Premier League 2 this year. But quite frankly, if you dropped him in against Villa and then City, I can't really remember who we've got after that. I think it's another London derby. I think
West Ham.
West Ham. Yeah, those 3 games. If he doesn't perform in any of them, then immediately he gets battered, and that momentum that he's been building up this season is finished before it's even started, and he's been absolutely rinsed before he's even started. You cannot throw him into a top 4 race like that.
No,
on the bench, it's fine.
I agree. Jamie Donnelly is an unbelievable talent.
Yeah.
But the step up to the Tottenham first team,
massive,
is maybe just a step too far for him at this stage.
Yeah. So Matt, who would you put then? I'm interested to know who would you put in that creative midfield role?
If Ange trusts Lo Celso, then he's the perfect fit. But realistically, against Villa, I think our midfield 3 should be Højbjerg, Sarr, and Bentancur.
It's going to have to be. We're coming up against one of the most efficient midfields in the league in Douglas Luiz and John McGinn, and then with Jacob Ramsey in about as well. Like, if we do not pick the right midfield, we're going to get battered because they are such a well-organised team. Yeah, they're so structured.
So I think Højbjerg and Sarr can be our engine, push him from the back. And I think Bentancur, as Jamie said, I think Bentancur can do a job in that role. Like, we've seen him score goals in the past. Yeah. We've seen the nice passes and things like that. And I think he's the player to go in. We're not going to quite have the same attacking edge as we do have with Maddison in the team, just because of how good he is. But I still think it's good enough for most Premier League games.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Anyone else want to add something onto it?
Again, so we keep talking about Gio and just not put him in for one game to start, which tells us everything.
Yeah, it speaks volumes.
Yeah.
He's not
No,
good enough.
fair enough.
Can't be good enough.
Exactly.
Otherwise, he would have played.
I agree. I think you can sort of feel who Ange likes and who he prefers not to. You kind of see it in a way, but this is a question that I'm just going to ask out of the blue. Matt, this is a quick question. Going into the transfer window, I know we talked about it so many times talked about this, but I want to get one last answer. I promise I'm not going to ask this until Jan. What do we need? What do we need for January? Leave centre backs out because I'm getting bored for that answer. What other positions in the field do you think we need to kind of strengthen?
Attacking midfield and left wing.
Brilliant. Okay. And what about striker? Because we have been talking about Jimenez.
We've got Veliz.
Yeah.
We've got Son playing in that role. Richarlison can fill in. I think the left wing role is more important for us.
Well, will Richarlison be at the club?
Exactly. Brilliant stuff.
Might be going to Saudi.
Fingers crossed.
How much do you reckon we can get from Saudi for him?
I'll tell you what, if we could get half of our money back, I think we're winning.
Agreed.
I reckon Saudi would pay 60 million for him.
There's no way. There's no way in hell
I
they'll pay 60
I hope you're right, Matt.
I'd love it. I'd love it if they did. I reckon we can get like 35, 40.
Yeah, I agree with Josh. I think around 35, 40. I think something like that.
I think that'd be massive for us as well.
We can't take any less than 40 million for him.
Well, what do you guys think his transfer market value is right now? I'm going to quickly check. What do you think?
30 mil.
25?
Realistically, another top side isn't giving us more than 25 to 30 for him. I think that's being generous for another top side.
Okay, I got his value right now. Okay, interesting. Okay, let's see who gets this closest. Josh, what are you saying?
35.
35. Jamie, what are you saying?
30 mil.
30 mil. Matt, what are you saying?
36.
Yeah,
Matt edges it on the 36.
Sure,
It's 40 mil.
What a loser,
It's 40
honestly.
Mil.
What a pathetic cop out.
Well, I just knew if I go 1 million above him, if it's higher, I've got it.
Lads, no, look, okay, wait. Do we really think Richarlison's actually worth 40 mil? Let's be honest. Would you pay 40 mil for Richarlison right now?
So we're losing 10 million a year on this guy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's a shame because I see the same thing with Son when he arrived. The same thing, and I can remember sitting next to my dad being at the game, and my dad saying to me, "He's rubbish. He's not good enough." And I thought, there's something about him. I think there is something about Richarlison. I really do. I want to like him. I love his passion. I love his hunger, but it's just not there, is it? The finishing's just not there.
I always struggle with players that by the time they're 25, 26, we still don't know their best position. I really struggle with players like that because that just tells me that you really don't have the attributes to be elite in either. You just have the attributes to be okay in both.
But to be fair, he's only started 2 games as a striker. He's only actually played 2 games.
I think he's a massive confidence player, and if he got a goal or 2, he would probably then kick on, and his finishing would improve. I'm with you, Jamie. Like I like Richarlison. I want him to come good. I like him. I love his passion. He's such a willing runner. He presses perfectly for Ange Ball. And if he sorted his finishing out, we'd have a player there.
Yeah. I love the shithousery. Again, he's a player you love to hate if he's not in your team, right?
100%.
We needed that after Lamella left. We really did. I really didn't like Lamella as a footballer, but God, did I love his passion, his shithousery. I loved it.
Love Lamella. He scored 2 Rabonas for Tottenham. Can't not like him.
No, you say that, Matt. We look at him through such rose-tinted glasses. Lamella stunk the place out for years. He was so bad.
Lamella is Tottenham's best player ever.
Almost as good as Soldado.
Honestly,
my God.
I think the Lamella cult of Spurs is such a weird cult of fans that just like adore him and like can't see any wrong in him.
Wow.
Goldardo. Unbelievable. Almost as good as Vincent Janssen.
There you go.
Vincent Janssen. Jeez.
We actually have got a bit of a low key striker curse, like Clinton and G. Like we've been through some absolute just
Oh, some howlers, mate.
Well-
Some howlers.
Well, guys, I just want to. I'm gonna try. Let's see if I can do a nice, move away to my next topic I want to talk about. Let's see if I can do this. Who is the attacking midfielder in Tottenham's history? I hope he was attacking midfielder that you would wish to have right now in the team.
Glenn Hoddle.
Van der Vaart.
Van der Vaart.
I'm also going Van der Vaart. That was what I was going to say. I love
der
that
Vaart.
man. What a player.
Legend player.
How
Tell
we
me a little
managed to get him, I'll never know.
Van
What
der
a
Vaart.
player.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Glenn Hoddle.
Yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable. Ericsson at his peak.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is true. He's probably my favourite player of the
Brilliant.
last decade as well. Yeah,
Chris-
no, Prime Ericsson maybe beats Van der Vaart for me. It's close though. But Prime Ericsson's so underrated. I think he's the most underrated midfielder of the last decade, Christian Eriksen. If you look at his stats, only De Bruyne was better in sort of attacking areas, assists, progressive passes, key passes wise than Eriksen.
That goal against Chelsea, I still love it.
Filth.
Yeah.
Pure filth.
No, because I tell you what, believe it or not, I was actually watching that game, and when I remember watching my dad, and I was watching the ball. I hope we're talking about the same goal. I was watching the ball, and then it just went in the net, and I was like, why did keeper not save that? I said keeper not save that. I rewatched it. What techers was on
Yeah,
that
the
man? I
knuckle
tell
on that
you
ball
what,
is a joke.
Yeah, it was the dip. Like
unbelievable.
it was straight over the keeper, but he was never getting to it because the dip on that ball literally just went over the keeper, dipped just under the bar. It caught the underside of the bar, didn't it?
I tell you what, it was a smasher. It was an unbelievable goal.
What a goal!
Well, tell me, guys, what are your thoughts on this man? Guys, I am much younger than you all, so you have to just show me some respect. I did do my homework. What are your thoughts on this guy? I mean,
Savage Ronaldo.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I thought I'd bring him into this conversation because I was watching a couple of YouTube videos, and because I had this discussion with someone, and he was explaining to me, oh yeah, this guy was just like unbelievable. His dribbling was one of the best I've ever seen. I was like, let's have a little look. I'll tell you what, he kind of impressed me. Do you know that? I'll tell you what, he kind of impressed me. Obviously, you guys are much older than me, so go on, talk to me about this player. What are you guys' thoughts on this player?
Well,
Pure
forget the football.
Sauce.
Forget the football. He's Tottenham's sexiest player of all
What
time.
a beautiful man, honestly.
What
I'm a straight man, but what a beautiful, beautiful man.
Oh, so beautiful. Yeah. No, have you seen the video, the training video of with Gaza when Gaza puts on the wig?
Yeah, he puts on the wig.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
No, Ginola. Obviously, I'm old enough to actually remember Ginola, and he was at Tottenham for what, 2 years?
Yeah, it wasn't very long. He was with us.
Year and a half. But he was sublime. Oi, Percy, stop it.
Does he not know that we're talking about Ginola right now? Seriously.
I know. Percy,
Have some respect.
David Ginola. The reality is, David Ginola, yeah, like when you talk about his dribbling, he was such a good player. Such a good player. I don't think we saw the best of him at Tottenham. His best times was probably at Newcastle. But fantastic player. I would quite happily take him on the left wing right now.
I'd take him anywhere.
What are you saying, Jamie? What are you saying?
I'd take him anywhere he wants to go.
Seriously. What a
I'll tell you
man.
what,
He's one of those old school footballers. He was about the beauty of the game. It was like he could not have cared about his stats, his efficiency, none of that. He was an old school footballer in terms of it was for the pure beauty of the game that he played, and he played in such a different way than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You just don't get footballers like that anymore.
I'll tell you what. From what I saw, we could do with him right now. But guys, I think we kind of smashed this video. I'll be honest. I think we did really well. I do need to say, once again, Thanks for all the comments from Instagram. We do very much appreciate it. Any last words on, anyone want to say last something, anything to do with Tottenham right now? Because this video is really just out there. Anyone? Anything?
Well, no, we're going to be back later in the week. After the international break, we're going to be back with our Villa preview. So make sure everyone tunes in for that one coming up. And the post-match interview where we'll probably all be even more depressed or unbelievably shocked that we've managed to steal something from Villa Park. So.
Well, you never know. We might get a bit of a touch with the injury crisis before that. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. You never know.
Who knows? Who knows?
Anything can happen. It's Tottenham.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna put out one more question. I feel like we need one more question out there. Matt, Ashley Phillips, what are you saying? Are you giving him a chance next game against Villa, or are you not giving him a chance?
Yeah, I mean, we've brought him into the team and seems quite impressed with him.
Didn't you withdraw him from the under-21s as well?
I think.
Yeah.
Give him a chance.
Josh, what are you thinking?
I would personally at Villa, I would play Ashley Phillips and Ben Davies centre back.
Agree, 100% agree.
I think the lack of pace is killing us, and so we need something else at the back. And also, do you know what? I'm not going to be one that's just going to pound on Dyer because he just can't play that role, and that's not his fault. He just isn't a type of footballer to be able to do it. But if I can't watch another game of him spraying passes out to the touchline again and again and again and again, trying to hit those wingers or those fullbacks, it was painful, quite frankly. And I can't go for another 90 minutes of that.
Fair enough, Jamie.
Yeah, no, I agree with the boys. I think it's time to release Dyer. Just pay his contract off, get him out the door.
Okay.
He's obviously
there's rumours of Sporting, isn't there?
Yeah, just give him another chance, put him away, give the Ashley Phillips lad, give him a go. And I think, again, just all those Spurs fans, let's not jump on his back when he makes a mistake. It's going to happen. But we've got to blood him at some point, so throw him in.
Yeah. I mean, have you guys actually seen how tall this guy is?
He's 6'4", and he's 6'5".
He is massive, like honestly. But I just hope he can come in and sort of feel comfortable.
And he's quick.
Exactly. I mean,
yeah, it's just a shame he plays behind the most beautiful, tall, fast 6'4" Dutchman I've ever seen in my life. What a bloke! Seriously, well done, Mum and Dad. Thank you for producing him because he's unbelievable.
Well done. Well, lads, this will conclude the Q&A with the Instagram. That is a horrible title to call this video. But guys, thank you so much for joining. Make sure to smash that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and comment down below if you agree with Josh, with the sexy man from Netherlands. Guys, thank you very much for joining. Josh, Matt, Jamie, good to see you guys. Hope you guys are having a great day, and come on, you Spurs. Let me get this out.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.